Hi, welcome to Changemakers, a smarter school podcast exploring how to live a successful and happy life. I am Katlego Motlogelwa, your host. On every episode, I talk to great thinkers and doers from different walks of life who are at the forefront of positively impacting society. Our conversations focus on their specific journeys to achieving their goals. We talk mindsets, books, advice, and tools they use to keep them motivated. All the key ingredients you need for a happy and fulfilling life. I hope you enjoy this next episode. On this episode, I spoke to Kevin Nkosinathi Mthombeni, the founder of Share a Box, a non-profit organization that is working to improve access to sexual and reproductive health products as well as information. The organization started doing sanitary pad drives and is now morphing into doing more, including tackling gender-based violence and mental wellness issues. I spoke to Kevin about how the idea came about, the organization's operations, the highlights and challenges to date. I hope you enjoy this episode. So how did Share a Box, get started? What inspired that idea? And then just explain also what exactly Share a Box is. What do you guys do?
Well, the story is just amazing. Every time I get to tell it, it just encourages me to show me that what I'm doing is not because I'm the first person to do it. It was other people that started doing it that actually motivated me to start this company, this business. One time I stopped at a robot, just before I was about to turn in at home. This was during festive season. So I'm just standing there at the robot, and then this gentleman stops right next to me, hoots, and then calls out across, to get my attention. And I speak to this gentleman. I'm like, "How can I help you?" He says, "No, listen up. I actually want to help you. I'm going back home, and I need you to learn something today. Here's a box of condoms." That I'm sharing with you. I'm going home, so I have not used this, but then I just took it because I went out, just to be safe. So you're a young man, and I do believe that you will be going out maybe later on tonight or whenever, but I do believe you should always keep this with you. And it was not just this box of condom, but it was a method to say share a box of sexual products, health products, educate each other, help each other grow in the essential parts of life, whereby these things have not been really regarded, but a lot of people have just forgotten about the education side of it, but they just think that it's just about the experience. But there's a lot to be learned, in
Yeah.
the sharing a box message. Share a box currently has been doing a lot of campaigns in schools, whereby we actually encourage young people to, take care of their sexual health, which are the programs, educational programs that we are running. We're also running programs with the community, using community facilities like your community halls to run again programs that will encourage the youth within the community to look after themselves and to stand up against gender-based violence in the community. And we will have your regular walk the talk sessions with whereby we engage young people in the community, and we're able to address the specific issues that they are dealing with, in a more detailed manner, whereby we get the issues from the females mainly. But now, all the development that's been taking place, we've actually identified that even the young men are actually having issues. So we have devised a mental health initiative for young men, which will be called Sharebox Blue, whereby we will just be dealing with the mental health issues that young men are actually dealing with, facing in our community and schools.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds great. Yeah, because I think, many initiatives, although we know that there's a reason why there's a focus on young girls, but we can't neglect, the boys and the young men growing up, because they are the partners to these females. So if we just, you know, help the females develop and leave behind the boys, we might, end up with different sorts of problems, like you said, the gender-based violence issues that you're also tackling. Do you mind maybe expanding a bit in terms of your program? So how do you facilitate the sessions? Who develops these sessions, and and then how do you present them to your community? How does that process look like? Do you work with,
Well,
maybe let me rephrase my question. Maybe let me rephrase my question. Um, so you're saying you have sessions or programs, right? So I want to know how these are designed, and how do you then present them, to the community? And do you have any assistance from like well-known organizations that are working in the same space?
we do. Thank you. You've what's happening is with the response that we've actually gotten from the community, we realize that without working with other organizations that provide the service that we actually are looking to render, it will not be possible for us to actually meet even the people that need the service. So we've reached out to a lot of the local clinics, firstly, to say to them, we are this organization and we need you guys to assist us and work with us. So whenever we have patients that need us to recommend or give them direction where to go to get a certain service, we will actually be able to extend our service to reach out to the other organizations to say we have so many people that need your service, and then we'll make appointments to go there and we'll be able to meet their needs. As much as further on we would normally get your packages, we will normally package the items that are needed from the areas that have been identified and the communities that have been identified, including schools that have been identified, for us to actually give them the donate to them the packages that they need for them to be able to be successfully meet their expectations, because they just have different needs. So we just prioritize what they're looking for, and that is how we normally go about extending our help. We would get the community or the organization will have a list of the requirements. They'll have a list of the beneficiaries there as well that they need help that need assistance from us, and then we are able to then source out from the organizations that we are working with. We have Show Me Your Number, we have Sister Love, we have Enable Enlightenment, and we have Sia Sisela, we have Sia Kusela. We have so many organizations, that are there that are able to assist us with even running these programs in our community to give a full round perspective of how we can change everyone's needs in the community.
When you started, I mean, it was first the sanitary pads. Well, what were people saying? Oh, this guy, male, why is he involved in such issues? Did you have any questions like those? Like, did such things ever arise? And what made you so passionate to be involved with what people will regard as a more female issue?
Well, there's a lot of stigma when it comes to negative stigma when it comes to sexual health, and obviously there are a lot of people that have their own perspectives when it comes to how they should protect themselves. So there were a few negative remarks when it came about, addressing people and telling them about the initiative, mostly were also about, how does this concern you? You're not a man. Pads are not your concern. Women are supposed to be worried about that, and even the girls' mothers' parents are supposed to be worried about those things. As a man, it is not your problem. And to me, I felt I was really more encouraged than disappointed, because it made me realize that there was a need for the organization to actually educate men to say that it is not just a woman's responsibility, but it is actually everyone's responsibility.
I just wanted to touch a bit. Sharebox being a non-profit organization, I can just imagine, some of the hardships maybe that you have to go through. So how do you guys, keep your head above water? How do you manage to keep the services going? As an NGO who is funding your programs. How does that work? How are you guys doing it? Do you get any help from the government?
Well, there is a challenge when it comes to getting funds. It, it's been a difficult time, especially this year and last year. It's been a very difficult time, with the COVID pandemic, and a lot of companies are really struggling to even reach out and give donations to help us, continue with the program. But we are very much grateful for the few companies that have managed to donate funds to the program. Unfortunately, though, we are not getting much from the government.
Us, people who are gonna see this video, become part of Sharebox. You spoke about donations being part of, being a large part of what funds your initiatives. So how can we get involved? You know.
Well, when it comes to getting involved with Sharebox, it's just about contacting us on our social media platforms. There are so many people that are out there that really need the product, and believe there are a lot of people out there that want to help, to give access to these young women and men. So normally we have our social media platforms whereby you can contact us. We have WhatsApp, we have our cell phone number. We are not fully developed yet when it comes to the technological department. We are lacking a lot of resources. Even if we have a team, but not everyone has access to computers and so forth. So we are not able to have a whole run equipped department administration. So mainly we just get people to contact us through our social media pages, and we interact with them directly, because they all have different, most of the time people have different ways. We have people that call and they say they have bought pads. We go and collect these pads. There are people that are looking to actually make a donation, or they know companies that are willing to assist us. So we will give them your proposal, to able to give the company the details and the information that is needed for them to fulfill, the promises that they have made for us. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
methods, but it's just mainly about, really interacting with the people that are willing to assist us. Others are just volunteers, people that just want to volunteer their time. And we have then days whereby we have programs whereby we will actually tell them and contact them and let them know how they can assist us, but mainly it is just about, if you have something that you would really love to donate and make a difference, we can share our banking details with you, and you're able to just make your donation through to the business account, and from there the expenses will be allocated appropriately.
Thanks for your time, for coming on the Smarty School platform. Appreciate your time, and I'm truly inspired by the work that you do, and I wish you and your team all the best, and I hope you touch more lives with the work that you do.
Thank you, man. Thanks a lot for your work. The opportunity that has been presented, we really hope people that will be able to reach out and support us, so that we are able to help more people in our community. And thank you for the opportunity to give us this platform to share the story, so that people get to know more about how they can assist us in the same in this initiative that we have pulled together, to make it more sustainable and to help a lot of people and change a lot of people's lives. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, my brother. Thank you for listening, and thanks to Kevin for sharing his story. People like Kevin are the proof. As a friend of mine would say, we are the generation that we have been waiting for. I hope I didn't butcher that as you lead podcast tagline. I was inspired by Kevin's response to people questioning his involvement as a man in what many would regard a female issue. What I took from this is that I don't need to have a personal experience to offer support to a movement as long as it is for a greater good. I hope his story has inspired you to take action, however small, towards what you would like to see change in your life, and that you are encouraged to push with passion to be the best you. This has been a Smarty School production. Catch you on the next episode. Stay smart and keep well. If you enjoyed this episode of Changemakers, please subscribe if you have not already. Help us spread the word by rating and commenting on the podcast. We like hearing from you, as this will help us create better content and reach more people. Share this episode with your friends, family, and colleagues whom you think will benefit or like this sort of content. If you have questions for me or my guest, or topics that you would like us to discuss next time, email me at podcasts@smartyschool.co.za.